Oh, hi. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Lexcia podcast. It's episode 209. Oh, there she is. We lost the visuals for a few seconds there. I'll get to my guest in 1 second. I actually don't have any announcements today with regards to Gallery 360. Anyway, if there is anything else, I will definitely say that on my social media handles. But yeah, welcome to everybody. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. That's if you haven't already. But today we're talking theatre. We're talking to the co-owner of the PopArt Theatre in Maboneng, and to Hayleigh Evens. We're talking about the 24 Hour in the City Festival, which is starting on the 22nd of November. But yeah, let's first start off with that. Firstly, my sister Hayleigh, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. Yeah, ready for a very hectic weekend, but I'm good.
Yeah, this is quite a rush. It's a very jam-packed thing. And I'd like to unpack that a little bit by bit. But let's first start off with the Pop Art Theatre. Can you just give us like an overview since you're the co-founder? We know it's based in Maboneng. You guys got, if my memory serves me, over 400 productions that you showcased already, which is substantial.
Yeah. We're no longer based in Maboneng, actually. We started in Maboneng in 2011. And we were there for 10 years. We're a space that kind of does independent fringe theatre. So we are really about emerging and established performing artists finding their feet with new work that they're trying to create, which doesn't always find its way into mainstream theater
Yeah, man.
because theater is quite expensive to make on a mainstream level. So our space is for people who want to try out new stories and put up some new and experimental ideas. Pop art kind of is a platform for finding space for that, and then sometimes shows will either continue on the fringe circuit, which is either at other spaces like ours across the country, or at festivals where you have the fringe festivals. Yeah, so we've been running. We used to do a new show every single week, which is how we got to staging over 400 shows in under 10 years in our old space. And then over the pandemic period, we shifted our model and we let go of our old space, which was in Maboneng. And we've only recently, in the last year, found a new space, which is based in Parkwood. And
Okay.
we have been there from May this year, doing the same thing. We've done over 10 shows in New Space already, and we only started in May. Yeah, and we picked up where we left off, and but this time, and after all the favors we had to ask during the pandemic, we have lots of lovely new partners who we bring along with us.
Okay. Yeah. I've actually started this podcast during the lockdown. So I've been sort of tracing how artists have been adapting to the lockdown. Lot of interesting stuff there. It's interesting that you mentioned like getting new funders. I'm actually fascinated behind that. Just so by the way, how different art institutions reinvented themselves and sort of pivoted and stuff. I'm fascinated behind that stuff. But that's not for today. We're talking about 24 hours in the city, which is jam packed and quite a hectic festival. Lots to unpack over there. But let's just start. Can you just give us like an overview of the festival? Just break down like what it's about, and we'll unpack it bit by bit.
Okay, cool. I mean, the entire festival takes place over 24 hours, and that brings us six brand new 10-minute pieces of theater. So it is kind of very much aligned. It's our key event as pop art because it's very much aligned to everything that we stand for. It's about the creation of new work. It's about networking opportunities for fringe performers, and it's about getting work in front of an audience. Um, to see where it can go next. So what
Yeah.
happens is on Friday evening at 7 p.m., people will meet each other for the first time, and the writers will then go and write some stories. And then on the whole of Saturday, we rehearse those and we put those up in front of an audience at 7 p.m. on Saturday evening. So 24 hours makes six brand new pieces of work. with the collaboration of 36 artists.
Crazy. You mentioned something there that everybody meets each other for the first time on Friday. Firstly, before we get to the actual processes, how do you the actors, the directors, and the writers? How are they curated, or where are they from? I'd assume they're all from the Market Theatre or from the Market Theatre Lab.
No, they are from the industry at large. So they come from our network as Pop Art over. This is our 10th, 11th 24 hours in the city. So we have people that have played before who will continue to play every time they are available to do so. Yeah, it's all from the network of people, and generally also people we've worked with in the last year. So we have a lot of people from the productions we produced at NAF in this iteration. We have quite a few people who've been on the pop art stage this year. Um, the there are quite a few graduates from the Market Theatre Lab because the proceeds from the event go to Market Theatre Lab bursaries. So it is a wonderful way for ex-students and alumni of the lab to give back to their current students as well. So we do have a lot of the actors are from the lab, but we have from a very broad network. I mean, in this year's one of the writers for this year's uh iteration is the Distel playwright winner who we produced at NAF. So it's like it's all from the broad pop art network, which is what makes it such an incredible collaboration opportunity, because these are artists that wouldn't ordinarily have any other purpose or need to work together.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Like, is there any I would say, is there anything familiar with all of them? Have these artists ever worked together before? Or do you choose them randomly, and is that strategic?
It's completely unstrategic in the way that we choose them, but obviously the purpose is that people will meet one another and hopefully work with people that they haven't worked with before. Everything we're quite strategic in the way that we invite people so that there is a good mix of people from all kind of demographic points of views, because that makes interesting stories.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Um,
that.
yeah, because we don't want all the stories to kind of be the same. So
Yeah,
we start
I get
very
that.
much with the writers. The writers are key because their scripts are going to kind of dictate how everyone's days are spent. So we're quite strict about who writes. People need to have writing experience, because if we get a cuck script, then the day of the four actors and one director plus whoever's working with them is kind of ruined.
Yeah.
We're a little bit strict around the writing. But then also we just make sure that, like, from a demographic point of view, gender, race, age, that we have a range of people, not only who are writing, but are who are being written for. Because what happens is, after we do a meet and greet on the Friday evening, all the actors' names go into a hat,
Oh,
and
okay.
the writers pick three or four actors, and they
Okay.
know after having met them that they're going to go and write for example, Tankiso, who is a musical performer. She's got great comic timing, and she's really passionate about plants. And then they know that they're going to go write for that performer who they've just met.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. You mentioned something about the bad script. Do you guys workshop is there time to workshop the script, or is everything like once it's written, it goes to production, or how does that process work?
There's literally no time. Um, So what we do as the producers behind the scenes is, obviously we're the first to read everything. We kind of get the script at 5:30 in the morning, and then the directors kind of come in at 6. So we divide. There's three of us in the producing side that'll sit and read through everything. The directors also pick those scripts straight out of a hat, so no one has preference around what they get to
Oh,
direct.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
they literally
Interesting.
receive a title and a genre, and they go, okay, cool, and then they have one round of swapsies. So if a director is particularly passionate about not being able to direct satire, they can say, can I swap you for the comedy or can I swap you for the drama? But that no one has to swap if they don't want to. But we just kind of read through it from just to make sure that there's nothing problematic in the scripts, first of all. We want to respect the offers that the writers have given us, but obviously if it comes to any of the, if there's anything problematic that needs to be addressed, then we can work with the director.
Hello, are you still there? Oh,
sorry, there we go, I'm back. Yeah, so
yeah.
we give the directors a little bit of a chance to, a little bit of free reign. But we scan the scripts, and then the other reason we scan the scripts is we have to decide by 12 o'clock what order the scripts are going to run in, which means we need to kind of be looking at a script from a dramaturgical eye and go like, this is a great opener, this one sits nicely in the middle, these two stories flow back to back, and then this is our closer.
Okay, so I have to ask, very, very time, is a very forced on that, and clearly the guys work through the evening, so this is like a night shift. I've actually worked night shift in a factory for about a few months, and I hated it. It wasn't for me. I don't have the personality to be productive at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 in the morning. So just explain
Time.
that. Yeah. A lot of there's a few artists I know who thrive on that. In fact, who are actually quite productive in the evening. But they'll explain to me in the audience. So that process of the writers writing, do you guys document that? Can people be part of that process? And is there I don't know, is there like a timer that you guys have, or how do you keep the how do you keep everything in check?
The writing is a pretty lonely process. We've had people request to stay and write, but mostly we allow the writers to go home and write on their own. Um, and that takes place between 9:30 p.m. and 5 a.m. So they have a decent amount of time to write, and obviously if they write quicker, they can submit whenever. Usually what I do is I wake up at 3 o'clock and then I start checking my emails because they usually email it through to us and through to the market theatre. We've got to get the work printed by 5 o'clock. So I start checking to see, are these plays in my inbox yet? And if they're not, then I start phoning people and going, hey, well, first WhatsApp and go like, hey, are you awake? Because what has
WhatsApp.
happened in the past, a lot of it, like I said, this is like our 11th or 12th one. So we learn as we go. What has happened in the past is like we sort of like arrive at 5 a.m. expecting these scripts to be in our inbox and then go like, oh, and then we have, we don't hear from the writer, and then someone's fallen asleep on their keyboard,
Yeah,
and then like, oh
yeah.
shit, I just need to quickly finish the end, and that's then it becomes too late. So from about 3 o'clock, I start phoning people awake if I haven't received their submissions.
Sounds yeah, very, very, very interesting. So okay, so then you have the script, then the actors and the directors come into play. So is that all done in a at the pop art theater or the market theater?
That is at the Market Data Lab. What's wonderful about the partnership with the Market Data Lab is we used to do it in Maboneng,
Hmm.
and our theater is a 60-seater, and
Hmm.
we need 6 rehearsal rooms for people to be rehearsing individually.
Yeah,
And in Maboneng, we used to do it on all the construction sites because at the time it was still being built and there
yeah, I
were
remember.
empty apartments that we were
Hmm.
using as rehearsal rooms. And then obviously as that place became established, those spaces were less available to us. And then we also outgrew it from an audience perspective. We just could not fit the amount of audience that wanted to see this work in to a 60-seater theater. And so we grew it into the Market Theatre Lab, and this is when it became a bursary fundraiser as well. But all the rehearsals happen in all the Market Theatre laboratory spaces. So
Do you
it's
guys
all on
document?
site in Newtown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
do
yeah.
document that, yeah.
So via film, a video. So is there a way to use publish those videos anyway? Is there a way people can see that, view that?
Yeah, that's all. We do them all live on our social media. So, like, we'll basically be doing
Fantastic,
hourly edits. That'll be an
fantastic.
update of, like, these are the titles of the works. This is what this piece is looking like. This is who's directing that piece. This is the cast of that piece. And we keep that social media very active throughout the day on Saturday, all the way to the finish line. We're
So
hoping
yeah,
that people will be in real life and coming to watch it.
yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. I love that sort of transparency with artistic processes. Like I mentioned earlier on, I document that on this very podcast. I'm fascinated behind that, and I think that's something that more genres should actually do. So just two questions on that. So the social media handles, can you give me the and I'll publish the well, I'll write all the titles and handles in the description box here below. But just give us all the social media handles. Where can they view all that? And is there a hashtag that people use and stuff like that?
Yeah, it'll be all on PopArtJHB on Instagram. That's where we'll be posting most of the stuff. We also have a YouTube channel, Pop Art Johannesburg, so we'll be putting those up on our shorts during the day, and then the hashtag will be 24 hours in the city.
Fantastic. One last question on that. Because you are broadcasting all these, the actual making of the play, is the audience, does the audience interact? Is there comments and stuff like that? And if so, do you guys take any of that? Does the writers or the actors take any of that serious? So will they add that to the play if there's any interaction with the audience?
There isn't. We don't ask the audience for any prompts or anything like that. We just hope that they'll come and watch, and we're obviously very open to what people say about the work afterwards. What has
Yeah,
happened
yeah,
in a
I
few
get to that.
cases, the work that has been popular with an audience has been developed into longer pieces. So
Oh,
we
okay,
start with these little 10-minute pieces,
okay.
but if there is a good response or people are responding to the stories, then we're able to say, like, let's put some time into making
Uh,
this a longer piece of theater.
uh, wow. Okay. Very interesting. The genres that you guys use and the prompts. You mentioned like comedy, satire, and so forth. Are those the type of genres, or there's something more nuanced? Given that it's 24 hours in the city and there's a lot of themes and stuff around the city, so does that? Yeah. Can you just give us some insight there?
Yeah, so the overall theme for this one is Joburg stories. So the one prompt for the writers is that everything has to be set in Joburg. Um, and then what actually happens is the writers give each other the genres.
Oh,
So
okay.
it could go anywhere, but we will, as producers, also step in and say, like, that feels a little bit too far for us to be able to pull off in the time we have. So we typically stick to the kind of romance, romantic comedy, drama, realism, satire, comedy, sci-fi. We've a
Sci-fi.
horror. We've had some really impeccable horrors over the years. So anything that we feel like you can kind of atmospherically pull off with the theater stuff you have available without
Do
having to
they
go too far is what we'll try to do.
do
We've
they
had
use a lot of
musicals
props?
in the past. We have
Interesting.
access to the market theater stores. So that's part of the partnership, that what the Market Theatre Lab brings to the table is their wardrobe and prop stores as well. So we have access to that. If people have time, they can go home, they can fetch stuff, they can change. I mean, when in the previous musicals we've had, some of the directors will go and run home and get a keyboard and start scoring these lyrics that they've been given. So
Fucking great.
it's really up to the directors how they interpret the genre and what they want to run with.
Love it. Another follow-up question there with the actual production. I mean, it's very, there's not a lot of time, so I would assume there's sometimes mistakes in the actual acting. Maybe some people forget their lines and so forth. Is that all part of the fun? Is that part of the process?
Absolutely. And it's also part of what we do as live theatre performers, whether you've had 10 years to rehearse a play or you're going on for the first time a couple of hours after reading it, is you hold each other.
Mm.
Some people are really good at learning script, some people aren't. If you need to block the having a script on stage with you, or you know that you're going to have to cover for each other, that's part of how the work needs to be held and directed. And of course, people forget their lines.
Yeah, yeah, I could think, but yeah, maybe if it's if the genre is comedy, I think you can sort of improv that into some form of, but that it's comedy, or like you even mentioned musical, you can, yeah, as you're saying, I'm sort of freestyling in my mind here as well. So it sounds like a mood's a lot of fun, man. And you say there are 6 shows, correct? 6 different
Yeah,
shows. And is there
yeah,
any
we hope.
order? Is there any specific order that they will be showcased, or is it just random?
We're going to figure that out as soon as we read them.
Mm, mm, mm,
Once
Yeah,
once
yeah,
we've read them, then we
good.
get a sense of how the stories
Yeah,
can kind of come together and how they can feed one another. Sometimes it's a technical thing as well. If a particular show
mm,
needs a projector or a big set, they'll generally go
yeah,
up first.
yeah. That makes sense. One final question, follow up, and this also, I'm rather interested to know. So, I understand the process and all of that. So, is there, once the productions are done, is there any similarity? I mean, since writers all sort of work in isolation, and they rehearse also in isolation. But is the productions at the end of the day? Because you say this is like your 11th year. Are they similar in some cases, or is each production completely different than the other?
That's a brilliant question. And the brilliance is also in the answer, because in all the years we've done it, we've never had a production that is similar to the other one, which is also just
Interesting.
such a
Interesting.
testament to people's creativity and
Interesting.
what
Yeah.
you can do when you're given these kind of prompts. Because I think, yeah, it's just like people create obviously from spaces that they're passionate about, but also these prompts come in and they kind of intersect, and that means that, and that, like as we always say, there's no new stories, but there's a million ways to tell them.
Uh,
And
uh, uh.
we genuinely have never ever had a similar, like, shows that are similar to one another.
That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. Given that most people's experiences in the city should be similar, maybe they went to the same school, maybe the same studio. That's actually fascinating. But okay, Haley, so we get the entire process. It'll be on at it's the final productions we showcased at 7 o'clock on the 22nd of November at the Market Theatre Lab. Can you give us all the ticket prices? Uh, and those type of stuff. If people want to view it, is it tickets at the door? Do you have to buy them online and so forth?
We would love it if people bought ahead of time. It's available. The tickets are available on web tickets. Tickets are 150 Rand, and as I said, proceeds go towards Market Theatre Laboratory bursaries. Um, yeah, and you can also get them at the door
Mm,
at 7 p.m. on
mm,
Saturday evening. So
mm.
we would love to see lots and lots of people there. It's also for people who are not like big theatre followers. It's also a fantastic way to be introduced to theatre.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I know the format also makes it sound like that it's kind of thrown together, but the truth is we have collaborators participating that are at the top of their game. So what they make is going to still be amazing and wonderful and entertaining, and we're
Mm,
still going to produce it as if it's a
mm,
piece of entertainment. It's not
mm.
saying that everything's been made in the last 24 hours is not an excuse for the work. The work is still wonderful and it's a great night out. Please excuse me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It is still early in the morning. And you mentioned like some of your productions actually go on to become full productions that you gather more resources and time to put together. And I assume you'll be communicating that to your base on your social media platforms, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it'll kind of live as part of the production's journey. Whenever we make something, we always say it started here and went here and went
Yeah.
there. Um, and so, and often, people also have the opportunity to stay with the production or not, but the kind of nucleus of that team can go places together. And even there's also been cases where you don't like necessarily stick with the story, but you really enjoyed the people that you worked with on that day. And so
Yeah.
you have people that you can work with in the future as well. We've had
Yeah.
so many successes come out of this.
Yeah. There's a lot of collaboration is how artists survive at the end of the day. We all do that, visual
Yeah.
artists as well, poets, musicians. No,
Yeah, but it's risky,
that's what drives. But it's
I
all
think
a risk.
people are.
I think creating art or making art is a risk already, and I think that's a very calculated and to be honest, because I come from a visual art background, yeah, sometimes the collaboration there might be personality clashes, but that's a risk worth taking, at least from my experience.
Mm. Well, I think these kind of formats, and I think they exist in the visual art world as well, is like where you can kind of test your collaborators. Because I
Yeah.
think if you are what's what's often difficult about theater is you go into these very long processes with people,
Mm,
and that's where the risk is, because you've now committed and you've cast and you've kind of got a
mm,
costume that fits that person, and then you have to deal with the personality clashes. What's really nice about something like this is like you can get quite a good sense of whether people are your people, and
mm,
if they're not, you part ways at the end of 24 hours, and if they are, you might be able to play with them, which is so
mm.
nice.
Love that. I really love that. Sort of in closing, can you just give us your social media handles again? And yeah, the social media handles.
You can find us on PopArtJHB on most social media platforms. So that would be on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook. And then Pop Art Johannesburg on YouTube. And our website is www.popartcenter.co.za.
For sure. And as I mentioned, I'll put all of those descriptions over there in the box below. Hayleigh Evans, thank you for taking your time out. As you said, you still got a full 48 hours ahead of you. I will publish this. I'll produce put it together now this afternoon. And I'll premiere it at probably at 10:15 tomorrow morning. And I'll let you know about that. And then what I do is usually I do it a week after the episode. I chop it up into shorts, the shortened format, and I publish that also on all my pages. So the episode sort of lives online and sort of also brings a new audience to the longer episode. Yeah, and I'll tag you and Pop Art on all of those as well. But it was very good talking to you. Brilliant
Holly?
show. And I'll be marketing and promoting all of this, and I'm going to be definitely following all of the processes on your social media pages. I'm actually quite interested to see how that goes. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll be reposting and so forth and so forth. And but yeah, thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the support as well. It's very much appreciated.
One love, thank you, my sister. And like I said, I'll be in touch with regard when I publish it. And I hope you guys fill up fill up the stadium. I hope you fill up the theater. I hope it's a sellout, and you make lots and lots and lots and lots of money, because we all love that. So okay, my sister, thank you very much, man, and take care. Enjoy your day,
Thanks
now.
so much, Rosie. Cheers, you too.
Away.
Bye.
Bye bye.